Hello, everyone. I am Alexander Martina Bess, and we are with the band Along Those Lines.
Yo.
Coming all the way from Virginia Beach to be with us at Community Poetry Festival. Now, please introduce yourself, going this way.
All right. I'm Connor Logan Birch, the bass player.
My name's Joel Munson, singer, songwriter, and guitarist.
I'm Chris, lead guitar player.
I'm Beth, singer, songwriter, and pianist.
I'm Keith Perkins, and I'm the drummer.
Excellent. Now, when did you guys get formed? Because I'm a little curious about that myself.
It was like 2019.
Yeah.
Ah.
November 2019.
So you're pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then you stayed together. So that means you really like each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have our moments.
We did.
You couldn't hang out with anyone else, okay? And you had to be selective about it. It's like when I book a gig now, it's like, come to my show. I mean, yeah, there's stuff going on, and you might, potentially die, but hey, it's worth it. I'm worth the risk, okay? So there's a healthy ego, so that's one. And individually, what brought you to music? How are you inspired? What got you into it? It can be what's the first album you heard or whatever. How did you guys become musicians?
Oh, I guess I'll go. In middle school, I had no direction, and then I listened to a band called System of a Down. And I hyperfixate on things quite often, and they were like the first fix.
Okay.
And they were so unique and so different, and they spoke in such a confident way about who they were and what they were about. That gave me more confidence just listening. I didn't understand what they were talking about, but it was the way they were talking about it that allowed me to sit and say, that's what I want.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
All right.
As a child, I moved to the Philippines, and I did not speak the language, and I did not understand the language. And so it was the equivalent of suddenly becoming deaf and mute. And so I had to quickly come up with a way to communicate how I felt and how I saw the world using a universal language, and music just happened to be that universal language.
Oh, wow. I have a backstory to add to that, okay, but we'll do that later. Okay, all right.
I got into music for I don't know. Basically just when I was younger, I'm from New Orleans, it's kind of a music town. Played in the school band, played drums, so I was already into rhythmic stuff, and then got really into rap, found a bunch of my brother's old cassette tapes, so Ice Cube and stuff like that when he joined the Marine Corps. And
Cassette tapes, all right.
yeah, I had a little Walkman and everything. I would walk around with a little cassette tape player. And
Anyone who doesn't know more about music besides Spotify, I approve of.
That's true. I had the Death and Life Certificate by Ice Cube. I used to play that on repeat.
Yeah. Ruin the tape.
Yeah. So and then ended up moving out here after the storm, and then picked up guitar and been playing ever since. Got into the Beatles and Kurt Cobain and Nirvana and stuff like that, and System of a Down, and it all went uphill from there.
Okay. Beth?
Well, I got my start singing in choir of the Virginia Children's Chorus.
Okay.
I was about 5 years old, 5 or 6 when I joined that. Did that all the way until I graduated, and about halfway through high school, this family left for Croatia to go be missionaries, some people we knew from church, and they left behind a piano and amp, and they were like, just watch it for us until we get back. And they never came back. They're alive and well. But
You stole. Terrible person.
yeah. But so I just had a piano sitting there and decided to teach myself Fall For You by Secondhand Serenade. I know it's cringe, but we all start somewhere.
No. A lot of people got started in the church, okay, and some stay in it, some don't for various reasons. So that's a traditional music story, and that's not the worst one, okay, All right, that's okay. It's okay. So it's really traditional. Okay, now, Yusuf.
Well, I grew up with musical family, kind of.
So your musical aspirations were encouraged. You just you could only rebel by listening to the opposite albums of your parents.
Pretty much.
That was so spot on.
That's so exactly who he is.
They love music. How am I going to piss
Moving
them
on.
off? Okay, yeah, I understand. They love music. How am I going to piss them off? They're listening to the Beatles. I know Nirvana. There you go.
In my case, it was Grateful Dead.
Okay, yeah.
So we started listening to Death Grips.
Yeah.
Nine Inch Nails.
Nine Inch
Yeah.
Nails.
Most experimental music.
And then, but how did it evolve? Because you could have, because I mean, your rebellion would have been being an accountant. So you didn't choose that, obviously.
No, I mean, I stuck to my roots a little bit. My dad's a drummer.
Okay.
And so I joined band when I was little, and I just chose drums so I didn't have to like read like notes.
Okay.
Like have to read pitch and
No, I got
everything.
it. We had a
So-
violinist here yesterday. He had all his notes with him. It's okay. I get that. Okay. Okay.
But I mean, you still have to learn like marimba
I know.
and
I get
whatnot.
it.
So
I get it. Yeah. I get it. I
still
get it.
dealt with it. But no, I ended up just like joining bands in high school, and it just kind of carried on. It was just fun
Okay.
to do it. Yep.
So those. Okay. And who are your influences? So you already said System of a Down.
System
for
of
you.
Down's like the
Yeah.
first initial one. Like Tool became like a big inspiration in terms of like rhythm and understanding
Okay.
that bass wasn't just like this E E E A open notes. You're actually like playing a lot more complex stuff. And
Okay.
then, yeah.
And who are your influences, and how did you find them living in the Philippines? During what time is this? Because I'm wondering the status of the internet.
Oh, there was the internet, but that was back when the internet made the.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this is before YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, a little
Okay.
bit. I definitely like the Beatles.
Okay.
My best friend, who lives in Canada now, gave me a Beatles songbook, and so I basically absorbed everything Beatles. I like the Doobie Brothers. I listen to a lot of the classic rock. And I suppose the odd one is that my dad also had a number of old-time radio CDs. So we had music from the 30s and 40s, so I listened to a lot of big band growing up.
Okay.
So strangely enough, Louis Armstrong and like Ella Fitzgerald end up in my playlist as well.
So you knew about the Armstrong and the Beatles. That's a good musical education.
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good musical education. That you sought out. That wasn't forced upon you at a musical school. Okay, that's a very interesting story.
Thank you.
Please tell us. Okay, how are your influences? You named some of them, but yeah.
I would say like the Pillows and like Title Fight and System of a Down.
Okay.
And, you know, bands like that. I listen to a lot of like kind of like sad boy Southwest emo, but like heavy stuff and like just I'm all over the place.
No,
Same.
it's a good combo.
Yeah.
I never asked you this question. Your influences, okay? Because I know your repertoire. I've been to your shows, and so I'm like, I don't know, who's your favorite singer? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely do. Like when I perform, it's kind of all over the place. But as far as my influences go, definitely Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong as well.
Okay.
And Amy Winehouse, Adele, Aretha Franklin. I just like the powerful singers and also songwriters. You know. Yeah.
Now you said your dad was a drummer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, just for the spirit of rebellion, that you and him have two different favorite drummers.
I mean, yes. I can't really narrow down what his favorite drummer is.
The truth is, I could have been an FBI profiler, but I chose this instead. So who's your favorite drummer, and who are your influences outside of drumming and just in general?
You can't ask me that like that.
I mean,
I can't pick a favorite drummer.
Okay,
Like,
okay. Or whose skills are you most impressed with? Let's put it that way. Where you go like, dang, that's a role model.
I mean, I
pick
can't say
Buddy
role
White,
model,
like-
but
Just say Buddy
Zach-
White,
Zach
like all the
Hill
other
is gnarly.
drummers.
Zach Hill,
Yeah. Okay.
Zach Hill's gnarly. I mean, one drummer I love, and like is Josh Freese. He's not really that. He's not really that well known.
Doesn't matter. We'll look him up. That's a Google source.
But
Josh Freeze. I got
yeah,
it.
he just fills in for bands, but he's just so solid, and that's like why I love him. Just I don't know, you can't be more solid. And when you see him, you'll understand. And then I'm blanking right now.
It's okay.
It's
You're on the spot.
I know.
Well, and most musicians don't talk, okay, and this is why Rolling Stone has
Yeah,
a
that's the
magazine.
thing.
Or
We
I
speak with
perform.
our instruments.
I perform.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you know. All right,
It's a drummer for
it's good to do
Jimi
it before.
Hendrix.
It's good to do it before a therapist makes
Yeah,
you.
Mitch Michelson.
Yeah, Mitch
Or-
Michelson.
That's it.
Michelson.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
it.
someone
one.
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sick. He was like I listen to those, and a lot of my style is, based on that.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's just solid. I just love solid drums.
Okay. Now these are two final round questions, which is as a band, as artists, when it's all said and done, how do you want to be perceived, or what would you want Rolling Stone? How would you want Rolling Stone magazine to sum you up, your legacy?
That's a good question.
I know for me, it's like not sacrificing who I am as a person to portray what everybody else wants to see. That's like the most frustrating thing, that hearing from another musician when they do interviews or when they speak out in social media, who they are as a person is never really expressed 100%. It's always filtered through, whatever means to be sold as a product. And that's like, I don't want that. I don't want to turn into that. I don't want to be that person. It's hard when you want to be famous, because you have to sell that. You have to be the product.
You're running a game between being marketable and at the same time having your own space for your own head.
Right.
Stay sane.
I always want to see that band that's like independent. They are who they are, and because who they are is whatever it is, that's why they're famous. And it's more connectable, it's more real, and you see yourself within that band or what individual more than ever.
So you ponder, to paraphrase, the Pearl Jam quagmire.
Pearl Jam is like, yeah.
Okay, so which they solved by just ignoring MTV until it literally died.
Yep.
That's what your plan is.
Yep.
Okay, but there is no MTV, so
Oh, yeah.
you got to have a new plan.
Not yet.
Yours?
All right. I can only speak personally, but if Rolling Stones were to see what our band produces, at least how I would like them to see us, because I do believe we bring an original, unique sound to the table that isn't necessarily on the radio waves or even on the internet right now. Without being too off the wall, it's a specific kind of flavor, and I would like the media to see us almost as like a coastal Virginia sound. Does that make any sense? Because it doesn't exist, and so I would like it to exist, and I want it to sound like us.
I get that. How would you want to be summed up in Rolling Stone magazine?
I want to be the greatest fucking musician ever. No.
All right, well, you're on your way. Okay. Okay. Beth? It's hard to come after that answer, isn't it? Can't top that.
I'm gonna be the best in the fucking world. No. Excuse my French. Beep.
Oh God.
No, I think something that we bring to the table that's also unique is that we're kind of a catch-all. Like, I think a lot of our songs can resonate with a bunch of different types of people, and in the same breath, it's kind of universal, that I think a lot of people would like it. So, yeah, I would just want to be known as, like, being whatever genre we feel like and being prolific in that.
Going off of that, I think that's where music is going. You're not like
One
cookie
thing.
cutter anymore. Now you have to be. I think that's the way that's going to be to get ahead, is to be everything.
Yeah.
Genre bending.
You don't want to be like
Yeah.
stuck in a box.
Yeah.
Like MGK, how he invented emo music.
Let's not go there.
quite.
She's
Single-handedly,
joking. She's joking.
Single-handedly,
Joking.
MGK invented emo
Whoa.
by himself.
a
Pulled
critical
himself
word.
up by the bootstraps.
You don't want to be trapped in the box, which is the first original No Doubt song that was released, I believe.
Was that Avril Lavigne?
No doubt.
No doubt. Oh, sorry, I'm being silly.
No. There's a big difference between Avril Lavigne, No Doubt, but that's okay. but I actually enjoy them both, so that wasn't a diss. Okay, so all right, anyway.
I love
okay.
Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, Keith, go
What about
ahead.
you, Keith?
What do you want to be looked at as?
A drummer.
Hey,
Not even necessarily a good one.
All right.
If I'm in Rolling Stone, that's good. That's good. I'm doing something great.
All right. And the last question for the Community Poetry Festival Day 2. What are the joys of being creative? Why do you do what you do? Why do we do what we do? That is the question, and then we are out.
I guess you have, like, at least for me, it's that voice that not everybody is allowed to like have or use. Everybody has this voice, but it's always trapped inside and they can't express it. And it doesn't have to be artsy. It can be either you're a mechanic and the way you show love and the detail that you put into repairing a car, or being a musician and you're just pouring your soul out to your instrument. That beautiful thing that we have is like the most profound thing about being a musician, in my opinion, is using your voice that's internal.
Connor says it right, and really that's one of the most amazing feelings when you create a song and you perform it and you see someone's eyes light up. Not only is their emotions, their feelings, their soul reflected in your song because they're resonating with it, but you could almost say that that a little bit of yourself is reflected back through them as well. And so it's almost a cycle of discovery and rediscovery.
You better have, we got that right. I can't repeat any of that. I'm like, yeah, okay. I just went through Inception for a minute.
I spend a lot of time staring at ceilings.
It's okay. I was like, I do too. That's why I was like,
Yeah, kids, read books.
Read books, please.
okay.
We're failing as a country.
Not just manga.
You can leave.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Go ahead.
I can't cut more after that. The question is, what are the joys of being creative? Why do we do what we do?
The joys of being creative is like, I mean, honestly, everybody's kind of saying like, just having that voice, man, is like being able to express yourself in a way that, you know, people really can't express in the words. You can express in music, and then, you know, also relating with people and seeing that relation that you have with people, and like writing. It's always a great feeling writing a song and then having somebody be like, yo, like I listened to that song and like I felt that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, like, I live for that shit.
Yeah.
Beth?
Well, I think music is just a very like mysterious, magical kind of thing that we have, you know, in a world that's very like black and white, left and right. Like music is something that goes beyond anything we can like really comprehend, and it makes us feel so many things. And like to be able to take, you know, there's 12 notes in a scale in Western music, and we just recycle those notes over and over and put them in weird combinations that make people feel things and come to revelations. Like that's such a beautiful gift, and like it's the best expression of yourself as well, you know, to just put your heart and soul out there. It's like breathing, you know.
To paraphrase, it can transcend the walls that many people have artificially or naturally put up.
Yeah,
I like. Okay, these are some fabulous answers. Okay,
Bars.
you have the last one, man. Okay, I know it's a lot of pressure because you know.
I just want to make people dance.
That's all right, everybody. That is Community Poetry Festival Day 2. This is the band Along Those Lines. Please check them out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, the whole deal, Spotify. You're on Spotify too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Everywhere.
yeah.
All right, and go see them in Virginia Beach or wherever they're playing, sometimes in Williamsburg too. Okay, lucky Williamsburg. And we are out.